Hello friends, welcome to Make Money While You Sleep community and channel. My name is Varun and today we are going to learn how to execute options vertical strategy. Couple of disclaimers, this content is purely for educational purpose and it is not intended to be an investment or a financial advice. Before we learn about options vertical, there are a couple of option basics which I want to cover. This is for those who are completely new to options and who have not watched my previous videos. I have covered all these basics in detail in my other video which I'll put in the description too. So options are nothing but a contract on 100 shares, which has got expiry date and a strike price. Just like any other trade, there's a buyer and a seller of this contract. There's a premium involved between buyer and seller, which buyer pays to the seller. Options work just like in insurance, and there are two types of options, call and put. As part of my option basics video, I've also covered the outlooks of call and put. Let me quickly cover because this is also going to be important for our verticals. So when a buyer of a call is bullish and seller of a call is bearish, similarly buyer of a put is bearish and seller of a put is bullish. In vertical also our outlook remain exactly same as what we are seeing in the naked call or naked put. So this is something which we should keep in mind. We'll try to understand vertical, but I just wanted to cover it quickly. So what is vertical spread strategy? So verticals are also called as spread or vertical spread. So they're nothing but two options at a different strike price in the same expiration cycle. We will look at the example to understand them. And out of these two options, one of them is the buying leg, and the other option is of the selling leg. Okay. So vertical spread strategy or vertical strategy is basically used to reduce the risk. If you are a seller, to reduce your risk, or if you are a buyer, it helps you to make the option premium cheaper. Okay, we'll look at the example. This is nothing but the summary of what we are going to learn. Maybe we can come back onto it, but from example we will be able to quickly appreciate this, and all these summary is going to be covered through example. Okay, so let's try to cover call vertical first. So in this particular example, what I have done is I put a snapshot of Apple trade, and I have tried to put a buy of a call vertical and selling of a call vertical, and I've tried to put them together so that we can appreciate or understand both those trades together. So what is happening in buying side of a call vertical? A buyer is bullish about Apple. So as I mentioned, right, just like in a naked call or naked put, there is an outlook of bullishness and bearishness. It will be the same outlook over here. A buyer of a call vertical is going to be bullish about Apple. Okay. Hence, he's going to buy a call of 130. He's going to sell for call of 140. So how is it going to help the buyer? Since he is a buyer, the option price, it will be reduced for him. If he will buy only 130 call, the price of option is going to be a bit higher. But since he has also put a cap of 140, so his option price has become lesser. So that is an advantage for the buyer. At the same time, since there is a buyer, there has to be a seller. So exact opposite transaction is happening here. Buyer is buying 130 call, so seller is selling 130 call, and buyer of a call vertical is selling 140 call, so here it is bought. So here you can see for buyer it's a debit transaction, and for a seller it is a credit transaction of $198. Okay, so this is what we have covered here, and Apple is at $121 today, and this is a transaction which is happening for April 16th contract. So buyer is paying the premium of $198 to the seller. So what can happen on April 16th? Scenario 1, Apple can go above $140, above the highest strike. Let's say it becomes $160. So in that case, the stock has shown the bullishness, hence the buyer is going to win this particular bet. And what will be the profit of in this case? The maximum profit is going to be 10 multiplied by 100 minus 198. So this 10 is coming from the difference of the spread between these two legs. So 140 minus 130 is nothing but 10. So the maximum profit is also capped for the buyer of this vertical. So this is a disadvantage. I mean, the advantage is that buyer is paying lesser premium amount, but at the same time, his profit has become limited. So this is an advantageous strategy when you know that even the stock will show bullishness, but stock will not go above particular range, right? So you are entering in a bullish trade, but you also know that this will not go above this particular range. So you want to reduce your premium. That is how this buyer is playing this game. So if 802 is a profit being made by buyer, hence seller is going to lose that particular amount of money. In scenario 2, let's say Apple remains below $130 on expiry. Let's say it remains to $125. So what will happen? Buyer has lost his bet because he was expecting that he has bought this 130 call and stock can go from above 130. So he is losing in this bet. Hence, buyer will not make any money. He is going to in fact lose his $198, and seller will keep that particular premium of $198. So the third case is very interesting, where Apple will remain between 130 and $140 on expiry. And let's assume it will be $130. So what will happen? When the stock price on the expiry date remains between these two strikes, it becomes very interesting. And depending on the stock price, there is a possibility that buyer or a seller will make profit or a loss. So let's see how it is going to work. So in this particular case, when stock is at $132, buyer can make a profit or a loss, which depends on the strike price of closing. And in this particular case, it is 132. So 132 minus 130, just like if you have bought a call, multiply by 100 and minus 198, which is the premium being paid. Hence, buyer is just making $2 profit in this case. So 132 is the actual price, 130 is the call price, and this is the difference between these two. All right. So you can observe the spread and the difference which has been calculated is just against the stock price now, because the price is between these two spreads. And given that buyer is making $2, hence seller is going to lose $2. Of course, premium is there for seller to always keep, which has already been calculated while this clause has been figured out. One more important thing is, when such kind of scenario happens, there is an assignment risk to the seller. So if stock is closing at $132, there is a high risk that this particular stock will be assigned to the seller. So it is better that if you are not willing to take an assignment, it is better that you close this particular trade before it expires, if this is a scenario. All right. So let's look at the put vertical example. Again, same thing. I have tried to put an example where Apple, there is a buyer of a put vertical. If there is a buyer of a put vertical, he is going to be bearish about the trade. He is expecting that Apple will go down. And here he is expecting that Apple will go below 110, but he's also not expecting that it will go below 100. So he's putting a cap over here by selling a put. Okay. And this is helping him to reduce his premium. Same thing here. I mean, there is a seller of put vertical and there is a trade happening between these two. Okay. The premium is $137. So what's going to happen in scenario one? Let's say Apple goes below $100. Okay. So in this particular case, buyer who was bearish, he is winning this particular bet, right? So what will be the maximum profit for this particular buyer? Here it will be 10, which is again the difference of the spread, minus 137, which is a premium, hence $863. This is a profit for the buyer of a put vertical. So again, he's not making infinite profit or lot of profit, because he has put this particular cap. So he is not going to make more amount of money even if his stock goes way below $100. And $863 made as a profit here is going to be the loss of seller. Okay. What will be the scenario two? Let's say Apple remains above $110. So buyer of a put vertical, he is actually losing because he was expecting that trade will go, or a stock will go below 110, but it did not happen. So in this case, buyer is not going to make any money. In fact, he will lose premium of $137 and seller will keep that money. Okay. Again, the third interesting scenario where Apple will be between 100 and 110 on expiry. Same case, buyer or seller can make profit or loss depending on stock price. So in this case, again, we will take a difference between stock price and the buy put strike what we have got. And by this, buyer is making a $63 profit. Seller will lose that amount of money. Again, assignment will happen if this particular trade will not be closed on the expiry, because seller is at 100, has got the minus 110 put over here. So because of this particular trade, there is an assignment risk. All right. You would have understood that whenever this kind of scenario happen where strike is between these two stocks, when the stock price is between these two strikes, it's always better to close if you are not willing to take an assignment. After seeing these examples, now let's quickly look at the summary. So I have tried to put all those four type of trades here: bull put vertical, bear put vertical, bull call vertical, bear call vertical. And they have got this credit or debit transactions, which I saw in the example. Depending on the trade, they you have a bullish or a bearish outlook, or you're a buyer or a seller of that particular trade. And this potential profit we try to calculate in the example, and same goes with potential loss, which we saw in the example. So this is nothing but a summary of what we have seen in the example. So key takeaway, guys, options again have got a lot of options. Again, we have covered one more strategy where you can pay less premium if you are a buyer of an option, and you can effectively do your trades. Also, if you are a seller of an option, you can limit your risk by putting a cap of on your trade, that how much risk you are willing to take. And also you can trade with less buying power. So if you are trading in verticals, one of the big advantages that you don't need too much buying power to execute your trades. While in your naked put, you might need a lot of money to cover that underlying. If you are doing vertical trades, you don't need too much buying power or the cash. If you are doing a debit vertical, that buying side of the vertical, this is going to help you in paying less premium. However, as we have seen in the example, it is going to limit your profits to your maximum profit is going to be the credit spread minus the premium you have paid. Coming to credit vertical, again, it's a very good strategy to limit your risk and trade with less buying power. Again, we have seen in the examples. If you are not willing to take the assignment, or you cannot take the assignment of a stock because of the less amount of cash you have got in your portfolio, maybe you can try to put a vertical around it. My suggestion is that you always calculate the risk and reward ratio whenever you enter in a vertical trade, so that you figure out what is the efficiency of my vertical. You should always try to keep spreads narrow if you're a seller of the vertical, because that will help in avoiding the risk of assignment. Because if you have got very wide spread, there is a possibility that you will have that scenario 3 happening, and the stock will lie between those two spreads. So then you will have assignment risk, and then you will have to manage it. So it's better to keep the spreads narrow so that you avoid that risk. And assignment risk, as we have seen, it happens when your short leg is in the money but the long leg is not in the money. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of having verticals. I try to do naked options as well as verticals, depending on what is my thought process behind that. If you are not willing to take the assignment of a stock, then vertical is a good strategy. All right, guys, so this was it. If you have any feedback and questions, please let me know and I'll try to answer them as much as possible. Feel free to join as a premium member to learn all these concepts practically and master the options, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you. Goodbye.